to just do a very easy rustic loaf. Welcome back. Bread is getting more and more expensive in the shops, and we don't really eat a lot. So I do try and make bread as often as I can. It's so easy, it's ridiculous. There's lots of different recipes. I'll tell you who's really good to follow online. John Kirkwood, I think he's called. John Kirkwood. You probably already heard of him. You probably already follow him, but if you don't, go and check him out. If I can put a link in the description box below later, I will do that for you. He's got loads of different bread recipes. And I think I've tried, the ones I've seen, I've tried and they've always worked out. This isn't a John Kirkwood recipe. I think it might be Homestead Heart who does this one. Not sure. Tried lots of different recipes. I've tried my grandma's bread recipes. I've tried loads. This one is the only one for me that's never failed. And when it fails, it's user error, not the recipe, not the person who's showing the recipe. It's always me. But this one never fails. So if you're not sure about making bread, or you make it but it never seems to go right for you, try this one. It never fails for me. Now, I am using raw honey today. You don't have to. You can just use any honey you've got, or sugar. Just normal white granulated sugar is fine. You do not have to use raw honey. I'm just using it because I've got it and I like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 cups. I am using my mixer today, my KitchenAid. But to be honest with you, a bowl and the handle of a wooden spoon to mix the dough is absolutely all you need. You don't need a mixer. I'm just using it because it's a toy and I like to play. So here we go. Right, I haven't got my hair tied back today. That's not like me when I'm not in the kitchen. So we're going to have 3 measuring cups. Now this calls for plain flour. So when I first tried it, I thought it's not going to work. It's not bread flour. It works. If I can pop a picture up of it afterwards when I've done, because I've still not mastered editing very well, I will do. I'll pop it on the thumbnail for you when I'm uploading the video. So we're doing 3 cups. I do keep referring to my recipe because it doesn't matter how many times I make this bread. I always have my recipe just there, just in case, because I think I've remembered it right and I won't have done. So you want to just tap it down to make sure you have got a full cup. So that's 3 cups of plain all-purpose flour. Nothing fancy. Right, I'll pop that away now for now. I will use it afterwards when I'm doing a little bit of kneading. This bread, I don't need, like most bread, you to give it a good knead for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes or whatever. I don't need to do that with this one. I never have done. It's minimum, absolute minimum. Now into that, I'll just get my water first and then I've got it ready. You want some warm water, that helps kickstart the yeast. So I'm just going to grab my, the water wants to be just so it feels nice and warm when you put your finger in. Don't worry, my hands are clean. Might have a bit of flour on them, but they're clean. So we want, where's my teaspoon? These are falling apart. I need to get some more. Teaspoon of yeast. Now try and put your yeast at the other side of the bowl, opposite side to where you're putting your salt. You don't want the 2 to meet just yet because salt can kill yeast. So, teaspoon of yeast. I'm putting that towards the back of the bowl over there. You want 2 teaspoons of sea salt or rock salt, whichever one you have. Now, can I get this off? No, I can't. So I'm just going to pour it over here, just for any spilling. Right, so that's one. I'm putting this at the front of the bowl, the opposite side of the yeast, so that they don't touch yet. That's a flat. 2 flat teaspoons of salt. That's that done. Wipe that down. And then you want a tablespoon of raw honey or a tablespoon of sugar, whatever you have. Now this is not easy to get out of the jar. There we go. Nice generously. I bent the spoon really badly there, haven't I? So that's going to go in there. But like I say, please, if you've got just salt, not salt, sorry. If you've only got sugar, just use sugar, it's fine. If you've got some of that, like runny honey or something from the supermarket, that's fine. Or the other honey that's not clear, what's that one? That's like a cloudy honey, isn't it? That's fine out as well. Whatever you've got. Whatever you've got, just don't go out buying specially. Then you want 1.5 cups of warm water. So that's half a cup, that, isn't it? So I've got, it's probably easier to just use the half cup, isn't it? So that's 3 of these, isn't it? Actually, no, do you know what I'm going to do? Before I put the water in, I'm going to mix all those dry ingredients up. Just stir them up. And then they're evenly blended. Just for a couple of seconds. Right. Just do that by hand. You don't need to. So we're going to do 1.5 cups. As I said, this is a half a cup. So I've got 3 of these in nice warm water. So let me get this rest of this out. As I said to you before, I'm a very messy worker. Get everything everywhere. So then all we're going to do is mix that together. So if you're doing this by hand, and you have it all in the bowl here now, you get the handle of the wooden spoon and you mix it with the handle. Unless you've got a door hook. If you've already got a door hook, excellent. If not, handle of the wooden spoon does just as good a job as the door hook. You don't need anything fancy, especially if you're not for this loaf. It's a rustic loaf, so it's going to be like only round rustic loaves. Now then, I was searching online for prices of these rustic loaves, and you can pay anything up to £5. And I can't remember if it was Sainsbury's or somewhere like that, but one of the supermarkets that we have around here, online, it was showing it was somewhere like nearly £5. I think it was like £4.75 for the same rustic loaf as what I'm making here, for pennies, absolute pennies, even with the honey. So yeah, if you can make it, I know it's hard if you're working as well, especially if you're going out to work all day. Having time, because you've got to let it rise and all that, haven't you? You know, it's a lot of work making bread every day. I don't get to do it every day, and I work from home, and even I struggle. But it's so worth it if you can. It really is worth it. I'm just getting all that mixture. I've gone and put my knife in the sink now, haven't I? With that hot soapy water. Often what I'll do is I'll prep this in the morning really as quick as I can. Sometimes just do it by hand. Really quickly just put it together. And then I'll put the pilot, just, you know, like the pilot light in your oven. Your bulb, I've just got a bulb, it's electric. Either just the pilot light or a bulb or whatever you've got in your oven. Just pop that on. Stick it in there to rise for... Ooh! That a bit silly of me, wasn't it? For 3 hours, or just while you're at work. Sometimes you can just leave it overnight. Do it night before and leave it overnight to rise. I will put it in an oven with a light on if you're doing that. I just leave it overnight on the countertop or whatever. Oh, it's mixing in nicely that now. So, bring it over. That's just going to do it for till it all comes together. You can sit there, let it sit there doing that for 10 minutes till it's really well kneaded. And then, flush me out, put some honey on my mouth and stick it. We'll pop it in the bowl with some cream film over it. In the oven. That's brilliant. That's nice. All we'll do then is we'll pop it in this bowl here. I'll lightly oil it first. Stick some cling film over it and pop it in the oven, and I'll leave it there for 3 hours. Then I'll bring it out and I'll put the oven on to, let me look at my recipes, 230 degrees Celsius, which is 450 Fahrenheit, which is gas mark 8. No, I'm not showing off, it's written down. I'm not that good. So gas mark 8, 450 Fahrenheit, 230 Celsius, whatever oven you've got. So while that oven's warming up, I'll put my Dutch oven in it to warm up with the oven. So I do my bread in one of these. Wait, you do your bread in whatever you've got. Just a casserole dish or whatever. A loaf pan. You don't have to do it a round shape. You can just do it in a loaf pan, whatever you've got. But I will, after 3 hours rising, I will just put a little bit of flour on it and knead it just a little bit for a couple of minutes, that's all. Get it into a nice round shape. And I'll pop this in the oven. Can you see that Dutch oven there? There we go. I will pop that in the oven to warm up with, while the oven's warming up, can warm up at the same time. Then once that has warmed up and got up to temperature, I'll line this with parchment paper and I'll pop the bread in. Alternatively, what you can do is while that's warming up in the oven, you can knead your bread, make it into a round, pop it in some parchment paper and sit it in your bowl or your proofing bowl, whatever you've got, just while the oven's warming up. Once that's got up to temperature, you will pop it in the oven with the lid on for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, take the lid off for 5 minutes just to let the top of the loaf brown. That's it, that's all you do. Take it out, let it cool down, and it's ready to eat. That's all there is to that loaf of bread. That is it. So easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape this door hook. I don't know if you've ever seen them Dutch ones for mixing by hand. Dutch hook, Dutch hook or something, I think they are. They look really cool. They're on Amazon if you have to look them up. Right, so that's your dough. That's just going to go in this bowl now with a little bit of oil. I did forget the oil, didn't I? I've got some sunflower oil. You only need a tiny bit, just a tiny bit of oil. See, I'm covering everything up now, aren't I? Can't see a thing, can you? Get that to there. Can you see? I'll bring you down and then you can see better. There you go. So I'm just going to get this popped in the bowl. I could leave it in here, you know. It's in here now. I could actually just leave it in here and not touch it. I've done that before today. I've put the oil in the dish now. I don't make a waste. So I'll rub some oil around there. There we go. Now I've got this oil on my hands, I should be able to just scrape this dough into the bowl. You can definitely knead it for longer. I haven't kneaded it as long because I'm trying to show you on here what we do. So I'll pause this video now and then I'll come back to you after 3 hours and show you the next stage. So I will see you in a short. Oh, you're back. Hello, my lovely friends. Second part of this bread. It's been rising for 3 hours now, and it has doubled in size. It's got lots of wonderful air bubbles in it. Fabulous, fabulous. Smells really yeasty, really good. So, did I do a stupid thing and put the plain flour away? I think I did. I'll just come get the plain flour, put it away. That'll teach me to be tidy, won't it? Right. Plain flour. What I'm going to do, see, I promised myself that I had everything I needed, but I don't, because I've lost, and I did have it in my hand before when I was talking to you, the bench scraper, and it's gone missing, so I'll just have to do without. It's fine, not everybody has a bench scraper, so it doesn't matter. So could use just a wooden spoon, I suppose. I don't know what I did with that bench scraper. I'll find it when I don't need it, won't I? So I'm just gonna pop bits of flour on my mats. I'm sorry if you can't see this. I have angled it as low as I can on that tripod. So we'll get this out, and then it's a very wet dough, just like most sort of no knead doughs, but I do add quite a bit of flour to it, and I still knead it because we don't want it falling flat, do we? So I do tend to, that's why I need my bench scraper, you see. I did have it. Anyway, we'll just manage without. It's a very light knead. It's just a case of getting it to how you want it to be. I think put more flour in this when I was making it. Every single day that you make bread is going to be different due to the humidity in that day. No two loaves will ever be the same, so you've just got to work with it. Today it just needs more flour. I could make it again tomorrow and it doesn't need any extra at all. I find in the summer, if it's a nice hot day, you never need to put any extra flour in it. It's just okay as it is. But today it's very cold, but it's very damp, so that'll have a lot to do with it. All I'm doing is playing with the dough. Really, if you've never kneaded dough, there is a knack to it. but you kind of push it and bring it in and push it and bring it in and push it. But I've never needed to do that with this particular loaf. Never needed to. But I think whatever I do with it today, it's not gonna want to play. See, if I hadn't filmed it, it would have probably been the perfect loaf. But every day is different depending, like I said, humidity, temperature, whatever. It can be quite hard work. I'm just making it into a bowl, that's all I'm doing. I've just put the oven on now, so I'm going to pop the Dutch oven in so that it can be warming up as it goes. And then I'm going to get my little proofing bowl. Oops. A little proofing bowl. Sprinkle some flour in there. There we go. I've got a lining for it somewhere, but I can't think where it is. Give it a good wash out after. This bread doesn't want to play today. Never usually put that much flour on it, but gotta do whatever you can to make it form a dough, make it form a ball. If you just put it in a loaf pan, I would heavily grease the loaf pan if it doesn't stick. A bit of sunflower oil for the flour. Right, that is going in the parchment paper in the bowl. And then I'm just going to wash my hands very quickly. Very, very quickly. And then I can show the next stage with you. So what we'll do, sorry you can't see me guys. Mind you, that might be a blessing. Right. Towel, come on. Just sort that out. Sharp blade, razor blade, whatever you've got. Sharp blade. I'm just going to do, score it however you want. Some right fancy patterns, whatever you want. I'm just going to score it over the top like that. Sprinkle some flour over the top like that. And then when the oven is at temperature 230, I think I said, didn't I? Mine's a very hot oven and it's fan assisted, so I'm putting it on at 220. I might need to put it down to 210. 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, take the lid of the Dutch oven off, or the casserole dish, whatever you're using, and put it back in for another 5 minutes. Should be done. As most of you will know, once you've taken it out of the oven, if you turn the loaf upside down and tap it and it sounds hollow, it's done. So that's all there is to it really, guys. That's it. The only fiddly bit I had was the fact that it was very wet dough today because of the humidity. So I just had to put a bit of extra flour in it while I was 4 minutes messing with it. Not really needing it, to be honest. So that's it. And that's your loaf of bread. That's going to go in the Dutch oven as soon as I can. As soon as it's warmed up, get cleaned up here. And then I'll pop a picture on the video of the end result so that you can see what it looks like. If you want it glossy and soft on top, you can always just get some butter from the fridge and just smear it on while the loaf is still hot. I don't bother because I like a nice crusty loaf. I like it to be really crunchy. But if you want it a bit softer, you can do that. It makes it a nice glossy, softer crust. But like I said, I'll leave you today now. That's all I need to do today. I've had my Asda shop come and delivered, so I've put all that away. decided I'm going to make Spanish rice tomorrow night, but I might not film that because husband's off work tomorrow. He's taking a day off to help me with grandchildren because we've got grandchildren stopping this weekend. And then next weekend, my son and daughter-in-law and granddaughters are stopping with us for a weekend. They're travelling over from Ireland to be with us. So I've got 2 very busy weekends. There might be a few days here and there where there's some recording missing, but I will do my best to try and get in front so I can get videos out. So I haven't decided what I'm doing next, but if there's anything in particular you want me to do for any help or anything you need to be shown, just pop it in an email in the description box below, and then or comment on the video, either way, whichever's better for you, and I will see you soon. So for now, goodbye and God bless. Bye bye now.